There was a very old man who didn't believe in love, not because he was cold, not because he never tried, but because everything he had seen taught him that love did not last. This was an ordinary man, like us. He worked, survived, carried responsibility, but what made him different was how deeply he watched. He paid attention. He saw his mother love hard and still be left. He saw his father try in his own way, but never fully show up. He saw women hold families together while silently breaking. He saw men carrying pressure so heavy that softness felt dangerous. So he came to the conclusion love isn't real. What people call love, he would say, is just attachment mixed with fear. He would explain it like this: love is like a drug. At first, it feels like everything. You feel chosen, seen, alive, but then you need it. You depend on it. You crave it. And the moment it feels like it's about to be taken away, you change. You get anxious, possessive, guarded. What once got you very high creates a strong dependency. In most relationships, he said, there's always one person who needs more and one person who needs less. The one who needs more, they become the addict. The one who needs less, they become the drug dealer, the love dealer, the one in control. And if you really look at it, he would say, you'll see it everywhere. One person overgiving, one person slowly pulling back, one person afraid to lose, one person comfortable walking away. That's not love. That's power. He would talk about how relationships aren't just about connections. They're about healing wounds nobody talks about, unhealed trauma, financial stress, generational silence, gender roles nobody agreed to, but everybody follows. People say ride or die, but sometimes that just means stay and suffer. He watched young couples promise forever, I got you, I'll never leave you. We're going to build together. But then life hits. Bills, stress, ego, unhealed pain, and slowly love turns into tension. Respect turns into resentment. Communication turns into silence. And people don't leave, not because it's love, but because it's fear. Fear of being alone, fear of starting over, fear of what people will say, fear of failing again. He would look at older couples that were proud to have been together 30, 40, 50 years or more. But when they talked about their relationship, they said, we survived the matrimony. They didn't stay because of love, he'd say. They stayed because they survived the war of self and each other. And he was able to convince many people because what he said made sense. Then one day, everything shifted. He was walking through a park, minding his business, when he saw a woman sitting alone, crying, not loudly, not dramatically, just quietly, like someone who had cried many times before. Something in him paused, so he asked, you good? She laughed a little through her tears. She said, I'm crying because love does not exist. That caught his attention, so he sat down. She told him her story. She said she got married young, full of belief, full of vision. She thought she was building a life with someone, and for a while, it looked like it. They had kids, built a home, but somewhere along the way, they stopped seeing each other. She became everything for everyone else. He became everything for the world outside. And slowly, they disappeared from each other's lives. She said no respect, no softness, no real connection. And by the time she realized it, they were just playing roles. She stayed for the kids, for stability, for the image. But now, the kids were grown, and all that was left was truth. She said, I don't love him, and he doesn't love me either. Then she looked at him and said, and honestly, I don't think love is real. I think we just learn to cope with each other. There's no respect, no kindness. I know that even if I find someone else, it's going to be the same because love does not exist. That's why I'm crying. Whew, that took a lot out of me right there. Back to the story. Understanding her very well, he embraced her and said, You are right. Love does not exist. We look for love. We open our heart. and become vulnerable just to find selfishness. It doesn't matter how many relationships we have, the same thing happens again and again. Why search for love any longer? For the first time in his life, he felt understood. So they became friends, not out of need, but out of peace. There was no pressure, no performance, no possessiveness, no control. They talked, laughed, reflected. When they were together, it felt easy. When they were apart, they missed each other, but not in a desperate way, just naturally. And one day something hit him. This feels like love, but it's not what I thought love was. He didn't feel anxious. He didn't feel ownership. He didn't feel fear. He felt free. So he told her, and she smiled. I know, she said. I felt it too. I just didn't think you believed it. So they tried, not the old way, not possession, not pressure, not complete me. He owned his happiness. She owned her happiness. They chose to commit to bring their own happiness to each other. And the happiness grew soft, steady, real, until one day he made a mistake. He felt so full, so grateful, so deeply connected that he wanted to give her his happiness, to prove it, to offer it, to place it in her hands like something sacred. But the moment he did it, she felt it, the weight, the responsibility, the expectation. And even though she loved him, she could not hold it, and it broke. Now, there is an old man walking around the world swearing that love does not exist. And there is a beautiful old woman at home waiting for a man, shedding a tear, sitting with the memory of something real that slipped away. But the truth, love didn't fail. They just forgot one thing. In a world where people have to carry so much, someone else's happiness cannot be another's weight. You cannot hand someone your happiness and ask them to hold it for you. That's too heavy, too much history, too much pressure, too many expectations. Love isn't about completing each other. It's about meeting each other whole. Happiness doesn't come from someone choosing you. It comes from you choosing yourself fully. Love isn't something you find, it's something you bring. And if you place your peace, your worth, your identity in someone else's hands, eventually they will drop it. Not because they don't love you, but because it was never theirs to carry.